Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we will do part 2 of 17's in-depth reading for the twin flame connection. I'm glad you seem to be enjoying the other one. Well, I believe I barely posted it and published it yesterday, so I haven't really checked to see how good the video is doing. So we're going to continue with the rest of 17. We will have 4 people today. I believe it's Mingyu, Seungkwan, Jeonghan, and Vernon, which were the rest of the 17 members that we got a yes for in the twin flame video that started all of this, I guess you could say. So make sure to check that out in case you haven't seen that yet, and if not, I guess you could continue watching these in-depth readings for those people. So if any of you are wondering what happened to the rest of them, they gotta know, and because of that we have no connection to go in-depth with, if that makes sense. And I guess we will have to just accept that for what it is, which is kind of sad because, you know, we didn't get that with everyone here, but I guess it makes sense. Not everyone has a twin flame connection in this lifetime, nor is it the importance of their life purpose in this lifetime, if that makes sense. So putting all of that aside, let's hope that the sound of this video works perfectly fine, because Mingyu is Mingyu, and except for the twin flame one, I haven't been successful to have beautiful sound for Mingyu's readings. So, you know, let's hope that his energy doesn't mess up my microphone again, or whatever usually happens, that for whatever reason we just have to stick to the sound of my phone. So, which is what I'm recording with. Anyway, now we will actually start with Mingyu, which I believe what we got with him is that he's not too concentrated with his twin flame connection. Seems like he's walking away from something, that maybe from experiences that were a bit difficult with his connection, because that 3 of Swords tells me that there's a lot of heartache and a lot of heartbreak that he has to heal. The Moon tells me that there's a lot of confusion, and I felt like he was trying to find his pack or get with his people again, and a time to give rather than take tells me that right now Mingyu's purpose is to heal Earth, or to do something that is going to benefit everyone rather than just himself. And that's kind of like what I remember from his reading. But with that summary out of the way, we will take out some cards to see what is the current energy of his twin flame. And let's see, one card. Okay, we have the Sea Serpent, and then the true energy of his twin flame. Let's see, Mingyu's twin flame, what is their true energy, their true colors? And we have the Starfish. So with the Sea Serpent and the Starfish, it kind of feels like Mingyu's twin flame is an individual that has a lot of water in them. So it tells me that they're very creative, very intuitive, and very emotional. So that was... There's a lot of blue, so maybe there is constant communication between Mingyu and his soulmate, twin flame. And it also feels like they're both very conscious, or they're both very spiritual, or they're both very aware of their connection, even if they're not completely conscious of it. So they're maybe while Mingyu dreams, or if he meditates, when he meditates, or when he starts thinking, or when he feels that gut feeling, sometimes he's just connecting to his twin flame, and he doesn't necessarily need to know who this person is, or what time or space he's connecting with his twin flame, if that makes sense. Because sometimes you can connect to the... Let's say you look at a picture. In that picture, you can connect to the time and space that picture was taken, rather than the current energy the individual is in, if you were looking at the picture of someone. So that's kind of what I mean. The other thing is that with the Sea Serpent, it tells me that Mingyu's twin flame is an individual that is currently trying to transform, trying to like open their third eye, it feels. But this Sea Serpent, I believe, is actually a card that represents the sacral chakra. So that's the case. They're understanding the true measure of their desires, or they're trying to understand a deeper side of themselves, or what they truly wish for, or they may be trying to learn how to communicate with themselves what they want and what they are craving. There's a lot of blue and a little bit of green, so that tells me that we're working here with the throat and heart chakra as well, color wise at least, which means that there's this form of communication that's trying to go through. So maybe Mingyu's twin flame is part of his pack or his soul family or his soul tribe or stuff like that, and it could mean that they're constantly in communication. And by that I don't mean physically in communication, like, so I don't mean like sending emails, sending texts, or sending messages, or talking personally face to face. It means more like a spiritual connection, right? Because we're talking about the moon, which is Pisces energy, so that tells me that it's someone that is very in tune with their intuition or very aware of their spiritual side, even if it could be like a sleeping beauty, right? So they may know about it, they may be working with it, but they may not be completely aware of how it works or conscious that it's there, if that makes sense to some people. It also feels like this is an individual that spiritually is closing any cycles or going through cycles, or is making the motion move forward. And by motion I mean like their energy, so making sure everything's moving, making sure everything works, and making sure that things are finally being in the place that they have to be. It also feels like with this current energy, there's this sense of protecting something, so maybe making sure that their emotions do not destroy what their little heart, or do not destroy themselves or drown themselves, if that makes sense. It kind of goes like trying to maintain something, or trying to, it almost feels like, is it called, it's not a dam, is it deadlock? Oh, but you know those things where a ship will go it's like you have like, it's not a bridge, but it's like this wooden infrastructure looking thing, and a ship goes in, and then they open the doors for the ship to go in, and the ship stays there, and then they open the other doors so it changes water levels, and then the ship can move through. And it kind of feels like something like that, right? Like some sort of system that is helping enough emotions to go in, to analyze them and understand them, but also not let so much in that it becomes overwhelming, and then this sea serpent will just drown. It almost feels also like a water dragon for some reason. So I'm not too sure what that will mean necessarily, but it could be understanding very deep down what their emotions mean and how to work with them in a positive way as well. So the other card that we have is the starfish. So usually the true essence of this of Mingyu's twin flame is someone that just stands still, is someone that when they get hurt they can constantly and repeatedly just put themselves back together or grow from those experiences. And this starfish also tells me that, I mean, it's a water element, but it also tells me that it's an individual that usually their energy is of someone that just waits for things to happen, and they go with the flow of emotions. Or sometimes even if things are too harsh and too brash, they can just stick to one idea and stay with that. So that tells me that brings them a bit of stability. They can stand on their own ground very strongly. It also feels that with all of these yellowish orange colors, it is someone that is very confident and is someone that is very passionate. So they definitely don't hold back on what they like and what they desire. But with that, I'm going to go on to our next question, which is, will there be union between Mingyu and his twin flame in this lifetime? Let's see what we get. Ace of Cups. We have the Ace of Cups reverse. Let's see. Will Mingyu and his twin flame have union in this lifetime? Wait. Will Mingyu and his twin flame have union in this lifetime? Yes or no? Yes or no? So the answer is yes. So the answer that we got was yes. So I will interpret the cards with the question in mind: what is their purpose of being together? So with this Ace of Cups reversed, it tells me that it's not necessarily an emotional connection. So it feels like Mingyu's twin flame is not a romantic connection at all. It feels like it's just a finding himself type of thing. We have the Queen of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. So it is energy of balancing the feminine and masculine energy, I feel, because there's a lot of, I guess, woman imagery with Mingyu. And I don't think it's because he's with a lot of people necessarily. It's more like he's trying to balance his masculine energy, because I do feel Mingyu is of those people that have a lot of energy of just going forward and making things done, or getting them done, I mean, or making sure that everything he desires is accomplished. Any goals, any aspirations I meant, or any wishes that he has, he just gets them done. And I feel that he doesn't think much about consequences of things, and that doesn't necessarily mean that he's doing things wrong as much as consequences is like if he does A, B thing will happen. It could be good things as much as it could just be things that don't have, as much as it could be just learning experiences, nothing bad. I do feel that with this Queen of Swords is meant to allow Mingyu to open up his spiritual connection, because we have the moon, and if you see, the moon has like these doors opening up, so it kind of feels like Mingyu's opening up to his true self, to his whole life purpose. And it could be that Mingyu's twin flame is actually not alive, and by not alive I mean not in a physical world, and if they are, they don't necessarily need to have a romantic relationship. I don't think Mingyu's twin flame is romantic at all. And I feel that's the case because this Ace of Cups reverse tells me that even if it were romantic, it's not, but there is union, so it feels that it could be platonic. So it could be a friend, it could be just an acquaintance of sorts, or just someone that he will meet in passing. But the whole thing is that they will come together, they will come into union, and that doesn't have to be in the form that we think as a union. So not marriage, not dating, not necessarily blood related, so like having children type of thing. Not at all. It's more of just having a spiritual union, I feel. So this moon card and it opening it up feels on top of this Queen of Swords tells me that there's going to be a lot of clear communication, very clear cut, and I feel with this Nine of Pentacles is, to me, that's usually independence. So I feel that this is supposed to help specifically Mingyu. I feel this is all about, like, it's all concentrated within Mingyu. It's supposed to help him balance his energy and making sure that he nurtures a little bit of his body, his dreams, and his life goals, I feel. So it's supposed to be a more soothing energy, and an energy to help him balance all of the impulsive energy that he may have within himself. I also feel that with this Queen of Swords, it's supposed to help him get in touch with a humanitarian cause, because that's Aquarius energy. It also feels like there's this sense of transformation, this sense of giving, because this Knight of Pentacles underneath this Three of Swords, it feels like it's supposed to, this lifetime or this union is supposed to help Mingyu heal a lot of the things that he hasn't healed yet, a lot of heartbreak and a lot of pain that he may have had. It's supposed to get rid of that and overcome all of that, because we have the Nine of Pentacles underneath. So it feels like Mingyu is leaving this romantic connection, or needing to have someone, or wanting to have someone, and it's more about figuring out how to be with himself and how to be okay with himself. And this Nine of Pentacles is supposed to show material independence as well as just physical independence. So maybe not rely on other people necessarily, or just finding something that will make him feel successful without the need of other individuals, or finally feeling comfortable, feeling like he has manifested his own paradise. Because usually the Knight of Pentacles is an individual that has been able to be in their own garden, filled with the fruits of their labor. So it kind of feels like it's like helping Mingyu be complete, but it doesn't have to be a relationship necessarily. Because I'm telling you, the Ace of Cups reverse kind of tells me that there's no relationship or no desire for it. It's more like it's supposed to help each one of them be independent and be individuals, or to, at least in this case, help Mingyu be in his own energy and be okay with it. There's also this sense of maybe to help Mingyu create music, could be, because we have the piano, and I'm trying to think, what will the piano resemble for me? And I think it will be like creating music or finding the tune of his own heart. So maybe following what he truly desires, and doing that from a good heart space and not a space of fear or hurt or pain. Because this Three of Swords is supposed to represent a broken heart. So it could be to help me do things with more love and care, rather than be less of a warrior and more of like a mother figure, if that makes sense. So act less from a place of impulse and desire, and do it more from a heart space. So I feel that's kind of what's going on with Mingyu, and that's the whole point as to why they will come into union in this lifetime. So now I'm going to take out one card to see what message does Mingyu twin flame have for him? And we have the badger spirit, be fearless and bold. But it's protective energy. So I feel that one of the things that Mingyu is afraid of, maybe, or it's something. Mingyu seems like the type that likes to try everything and likes to experience many things in life. But I think one of the things Mingyu may fear is to follow what his heart desires. But it's weird. It's not. I feel like. But it comes down to his emotions, not necessarily about finding the right job or finding the right hobby. It's not that type of fear of taking action. It's more like the fear of feeling, it could be. Or be bold, as in, like, let's say that he wants to do something that he truly, truly, truly loves because that's where his heart feels comfortable. He may push it back because he may think it's not the right thing, or how can I make that even possible, or something along those lines. So it's kind of like be fear and bold, but it's like the other thing that I'm getting is like it could be protecting him because Mingyu is so fearless and so bold and just getting his actions done that maybe he may kind of forget that he's in a physical body, that you just get one, you know. So let's say Mingyu wants to let's just pretend that Mingyu wants to do parkour, but he's just going through his heart emotions and he just wants to do it and he desires it to the point that he may kind of forget that if he hurts his body, it may take a very long time to heal, or it will be detrimental to him if he doesn't take care, if he just goes on full impulse. So maybe think a little bit more before acting. That's kind of like the whole thing. And maybe that's why there is communication, because Mingyu seems like the type of individual that kind of sees what's right in front of him and doesn't pay attention to everything around him, or doesn't pay attention to the bigger picture. So he may not think far into the consequences of some of his actions because of that impulsive masculine energy that he carries. So he may not really think of like, okay, so if I do that, how will my body react to it, or how will I was just kind of thinking, like, you know how Mingyu's very clumsy, but it kind of reaches a point that I don't know if you guys have wondered, but I've wondered how has he made it this far in life with that clumsiness that he carries. So it could be that his twin flame, one of the things that they do is to make sure that he stays alive and that he survives. So instead of, let's say Mingyu's like running and he could like fall and hurt himself very badly, his twin flame will actually be there and be like, okay, let's put a cushion or something, and they kind of throw very strong winds, or they push him somehow so when he falls he actually lands on grass so it doesn't hurt as much, right? So it's kind of like someone that softens the hits and the blows that Mingyu may bring on himself sometimes. So he's divinely protected, and that's the message. But with that, I will go on to the next person, which is Seungkwan, and let's see what we have for him in his section. With Seungkwan, I kind of remember doing a summary of his reading. I kind of remember that with him, what we got was the whole idea of him, like, yes, there will be union between Seungkwan and his twin flame, but the issue is that there's this lack of self-confidence that he has with him, because we have the you are good enough. So the whole purpose in this lifetime for Seungkwan is to find who he is. And since we had the sun reverse, it kind of felt like he hasn't found home within himself, or like he lacks a sense of optimism. This Queen of Swords kind of tells me that he may not have very kind words for himself, or like he lacks that confidence to care and love himself. The Ace of Pentacles reverse was also this whole idea of maybe finding it difficult to physically manifest things for him because he lacks that optimism, he lacks that confidence, he lacks the ability to pay attention to the messages life has to offer him to take action, because we have the Page of Wands, So, or maybe sometimes he carries a message, like life, he can hear when it's like the right time to take action, and the right time is whenever he is comfortable, or whenever he has the right people or the right circumstances. But if he doesn't believe in himself, or if he doesn't feel like he's good enough yet, or he feels like he lacks the confidence to do something, then he will hold it back from the opportunities life has for him. And there's a sense of having good communication between both parties, or maybe wanting to feel complete when they come together. We'll see how that works out with his in-depth reading. But right now I'm going to take out one card to see how Seungkwan's twin flame is currently doing. What is their current energy of Seungkwan's twin flame? What is the current energy of Seungkwan's twin flame? We have the Panther, and then one more card to see what is the true essence or the true energy of Seungkwan's twin flame. Oh, we have this Stingray. So it feels like Seungkwan may be out of balance, but his twin flame may be out of balance as well. We have the Panther, and to me the Panther shows someone that is a little bit too aggressive. They may be going for what they desire and what they want, but they may not see things clearly, because if you see right here, we have the tiger with green eyes, so following their heart space and what they desire. And this is a fire card, so they're going for what they want. They're not waiting for life to give it to them. This is an individual that chases after their dreams and makes it come true, which I feel is something that Seungkwan usually gets anyway. He is someone that is good at networking and is good at finding opportunities, but I think he could be more successful if he had a little bit more of self-confidence, and if he saw his life less as a joke and more as more, not as in like my life is a sitcom and it's miserable, but more of my life is a sitcom and we go with it, we're happy with it, we're content with it. Doesn't make it any easier, just more satisfying to an extent. But this Panther tells me that his twin flame is an individual that chases after their dreams, goes for what they want and what they desire, and they may be a little bit too aggressive. So it also feels like this is someone that is currently in the energy of someone that has their heart very guarded, so they don't feel very comfortable, they don't feel very happy. It feels like it's an individual that is currently going through it, or is currently having to protect themselves and something they truly treasure, which it seems to be their heart. It seems to be like it could be a little bit sensitive, so they don't want to give that to other people or show it off to other people or have other people hurt them. It also feels that maybe they're currently in a battle of going against other people, because they may truly wish for something to happen and go for what they want, but other people could be telling them like, oh, that's not the right thing, why are you doing that? And this individual could be currently going through the motions of everything and be like, I have to protect myself, no one understands me, type of thing. This is the energy of someone that is very aggressive, and the energy of an individual that is definitely going through it and trying to defend themselves or something that they truly want. But the card that we have next about their true essence or their true energy is the Stingray. So this tells me that this is, with this water element, this is someone that is very balanced. This is the energy of someone that tends to be constantly working to make themselves be comfortable. I thought of a blanket, so it feels like it is someone that is able to protect and take care of other people. I thought of, again, that blanket imagery tells me that this is an individual that usually brings a lot of comfort to others and warmth and happiness and cheerfulness to other people, which is something that Seungkwan has himself. And we have to keep in mind that usually with twin flames, many of them tend to mirror each other. So this individual is going to have a pretty similar energy to Seungkwan. So there's some descriptions of this individual that kind of connects to stuff that you'll be like, yeah, Seungkwan kind of has that. That's because they're mirroring each other. What you have to keep in mind, it's still the same essence, it's still the same soul. It's just split in two. So we have two different versions of the same thing, if you want to put it that way. But this Stingray also tells me that this is also an individual that has no problem hurting others when they feel like it. And I guess hurting others was not the right word. I think defending themselves. They're very good at defending what they love, the people they care about, and the causes they're aiming for, or the causes that they're working towards. So it feels like this is someone that they are very sensitive. I feel that since it's on the tummy of the Stingray, is of those animals that are constantly protecting themselves, and you can't really see them unless they're in motion. And when I see them, I mean like the balance that this person carries with them. So Seungkwan's twin flame is an individual that that may beat around the bush a little bit. So they're someone that they're not super direct, I feel, but if they come forward with you aggressively is because they're probably trying to defend something. So that's what I'm seeing, kind of. And also with this tail, it feels like this is someone that has very long history, or it's someone that carries their past with them very heavily. So that could explain why there's a lot of like aggressiveness with this panther. Like this is an individual that may remember their past lives, or is an individual that carries their past with them. So if something happened in their childhood, they'll resent others, or they will carry. It doesn't always have to be bad, right? It could be like maybe when they were young, they met someone that they really, really liked, and that person was very nice to them, but they were not it. This individual will remember the good times and understand how this person was very nice to them and will be eternally grateful to them. So if you ever cross paths with this individual, they will remember through time and space, and of course in this lifetime as well. It also feels with this diagonal thing that there is someone that is constantly guarding themselves, but it also feels that it is someone that is able to see things from different perspectives, or may miss the point and the mark sometimes. So if someone is being very direct, they will see in between the lines, or read a little bit too much in between the lines. And because of that, they may sometimes confuse messages if they're with someone that is just very straightforward and direct. They may be like, but did they want to say more, or do they mean something more? So this could be someone that kind of thinks a little bit too much. But we have fire and water, so it kind of feels that usually this is someone, currently they're in the energy of they have to take action, they have to make things happen, but they're usually the type of energy that just kind of flows with their emotions and go through the motions of that. But now I'm going to take out 3 cards to see, will Seungkwan connect with his twin flame in this, will there be union between them in this lifetime? So far we've only gotten 1 no within all of the in-depth readings. So let's see if we get more no's or if the rest are just yes. So the first card that we have is the 7 of Swords reverse. Oh, then Knight of Pentacles, and 1 more card. The 6 of Cups. So we got a yes again. So it kind of feels that if we got any twin flame connections, there's a high chance that there will be union. Which again, I'm not surprised, because I'm of the belief that if we are getting so many, despite it being super rare and yada yada yada, is probably to help raise vibration, which is what everyone is doing right now. And well, let me go away from all of that agenda. So remember the whole so now I will interpret the cards with this. Yes, I will interpret them as to see what is the whole purpose of their union anyway. And the 6 of Swords reverse kind of tells me that it's trying to, I'm almost reading it like the 7 of Wands, which is getting rid of any fears. But the 7 of Swords reverse kind of tells me like getting rid of any attachments that they may have with the past, because we have the 6 of Cups, and the 6 of Cups is like someone returning from their past. So it could be a childhood friend, a childhood love, or a childhood memory. But again, I remember how I said that this tale kind of makes me think that Seungkwan's twin flame is an individual that remembers their past lives. So I feel that any past karma that they may have, or any past baggage, they're going to get rid of it. That's the whole point of coming together. It's kind of like finding peace and closure when they come together. This Knight of Pentacles also tells me that it's supposed to be healing, because we have Virgo right here and Virgo right here. So it's supposed to help Seungkwan with his confidence, maybe help him feel at home and complete. But it also feels like it's this sense of finally unblocking all of the material needs and necessary funds, but it could be just physical things, right? So if Seungkwan always wanted to make something happen, may it be his career, may it be home, or may it be money, when he comes into union with his twin flame, they will both help each other materialize projects, or start going towards the motions of everything and work within their career, or making money, or making projects, or finally manifesting home, or manifesting confidence and optimism and happiness. So I do feel that the whole point of them coming together is more of a them thing. So it's not necessarily like, oh, let's save the world. It's more like, let's save ourselves type of thing. I do feel that there is a chance that they might have, I'm getting 2 things, well, a couple of things actually, with the 6 of Cups. They may have children in the future, so if they were to meet, one of the things that they may help is by combining their energies and coming back into one. They may have a child, or like create new energy, because now it's complete, if that makes sense. So I do feel that a way of creating new energy is just having children, because that's allowing new energy to enter Earth, if you want to put it that way. The other thing that I've got is that it could be someone that Seungkwan has known of or met when he was a child. So he may already know this person, but it's probably not time yet for them to come together, because there's a lot of healing that they both kind of have to do, and one of it could be for this person to lower their guard a little bit, and for Seungkwan to get more confidence, or for him to learn that he's good enough because of this full moon in Virgo. It also feels with this Six of Cups that maybe, oh, there was another one. Oh, they're healing any childhood traumas that they may have. So that could be if when they were young they felt like outcasts, they were going to heal that when they come together. Or maybe when they were young they were bullied unconsciously, so maybe they will heal all of that as well. Or maybe when they were young they always felt like the world was beautiful, and then a huge disappointment happened as they were growing up. They will also heal that with each other. I'm getting with this Nine of Pentacles a lot of energy of this strong Virgo, but it's the Virgo of working through stuff, and going through the motions of things, because Virgo is a mutable sign, so that means that they kind of go with the flow and the energies of life. But it also feels that they're gonna ground themselves a little bit more, because Virgo is an earth sign. But it also feels this energy, the side of Virgo that is of service, or the side of Virgo that is healing, so they may work together a lot to heal each other. I mean, we have green and green, so definitely to have a heart space that feels at home, and I feel that they may feel at home with each other. The other thing that I'm getting with the Six of Swords reverse, it kind of feels like they're going to let go of this need to be together, and that's kind of weird. Like they'll come into union to learn to be independent, or they'll be independent and that will help them come into union. So it's this sense of letting go, and I feel like most of it is like letting go of the past, or letting go of their attachment of certain beliefs, ideas, or again the past. So I feel that there's still some work that they have to do, and when they come together, the work that they're doing is just letting go of anything that's holding them back, which seems to be any past ideas, past experiences, or past difficulties. But now I'm going to take out one card to see what messages does Seungkwan Twin Flame have for him. The card that we got is the Dove Spirit, Be Peace. So this is the protective message. I feel that currently Seungkwan's Twin Flame is helping him and protecting him by working together. We have 21, which adds up to 3. 2 plus 1, 3, which means working together, but from a divine place. So it kind of feels like Seungkwan's Twin Flame may be sending him a lot of spiritual help, and by that is helping him find like the right people, the right places, the right words, or the right circumstances, or cleansing his energy to make sure that he finds more optimism and confidence, or helping him feel at ease when his heart feels shaken up, or when he feels out of himself or out of his own center. It's like, okay, let me send energy, good vibes, and blessings so Seungkwan can bring himself back together and be his true self. So it's kind of like coming to union little by little, or ephemeral moments of coming together to feel complete and feel fulfilled, so like that things can get done. I also feel like there's constant messages of being cared for and taken care. Constant messages of feeling that he's been taken care of, or messages of he is being loved, or messages that things will go well. So I think Seungkwan may get a lot of messages, may it be from people, may it be when he's reading street signs, or when he's reading comments, or when he is reading, let's say, randomly a book, or when he's listening to music, he will randomly get a message of things will be okay, or he will get a message of be confident, be taking care, or like care for yourself and stuff like that. So I do feel that Seungkwan is divinely protected and taken care of, so he will feel fulfilled, so he will feel complete, and he will feel more comfortable and optimistic that things will go okay for him in the future. So with that beautiful message, I will leave it there and go on to our third member for this video, which is Jeonghan. So with Jeonghan, I kind of remember that he had a similar message to Seungkwan's, which was a whole thing about finding confidence, and with the meditate and contemplate, it was like finding himself again, or finding the power that he truly carries. This Eight of Swords reverse was the whole idea. I'm summarizing right now to try to remind myself how things were last time I did it, because I recorded the other Twin Flame one a long time ago. So I kind of remember with the Eight of Swords reverse, there was this whole idea of Jeonghan is trying to, he may be blocking himself or not wanting to see that he's getting on the way of himself. And one of the things that I kind of like about Jeonghan is that his energy is very straightforward. Whatever he says, there's not much to it because he's going like this. He goes straight to the point, and because of that, I feel we're going to get a very concrete reading, if that makes sense. Very packed and dense, but it's not going to be very flowery. I kind of do remember that with the sun, it was a whole idea of finding confidence and finding himself, finding his true power, embodying that power. The whole idea of being more optimistic, being a manifester, because I mentioned Jeonghan was very good at manifesting. I don't remember that, but that's usually how I see the magician. And this whole thing of finding confidence. And I think this is all supposed to be rooted and grounded in the 3D because there's nothing above blue, which is the throat chakra. So it's just communication with himself. That's the highest point we're going here. And it feels like the connection and the whole... We'll see a little bit later when we go more in depth, but it seems like the whole point of Jeonghan's union is to find that confidence again, and find who he truly is and who he wants to be, or make sure that all of his desires come true. I believe the magician is Mercury energy, and the sun, well, it's the sun. So it kind of shows that there's this whole thing about Jeonghan finding balance within himself that is important. Because I'm not too sure what Jeonghan's Mercury is, but if his sun is in Libra, there's a chance that his Mercury is in Libra as well. It could be in Scorpio, it could be in Virgo, but there's a high chance it's probably in Libra. Because again, Mercury doesn't go too far off from the sun. They tend to travel together pretty much the whole time. There's also this whole thing that I'm thinking right now of infinite power because of the infinite sign over the magician, or this whole thing that Jeonghan is like confusing himself for some reason, and he doesn't even realize that that energy of feeling stuck is something that he brought upon himself. But we're going to take out one card to see what is the current energy of Jeonghan's twin flame, Phoenix. Now I'm going to take out another card to see what is the true essence of Jeonghan's twin flame. Their true energy, how they usually are, or their true selves. What is their true selves like? Oh, seems like it's someone that's mysterious and likes to keep to themselves, because that card is just not coming out. How is Jeonghan's true self? Jeonghan's twin flame, not himself. Jeonghan's twin flame. What is their true energy? Their purest form. We got the fire ant and more cards. We'll take them all. So the cards that we got was the fire ant, the mouse, and the rabbit. So 2 earth, 1 fire, and the phoenix is a fire card because it's connected to the root chakra. Okay, so it feels like currently Jeonghan's twin flame is an individual that is definitely going through a big transformation. This Phoenix card is the card of an individual that it's burning all of their troubles, all of their pain, and all of their struggle. So it's someone that it's a healing fire. It's not like a passionate fire of moving forward. It's not the burning fire of taking action. It's a burning fire of healing. So it is someone that is grounding themselves very, very hard. Someone that may be going through a lot of death and tower moments, which is Pluto and Mars energy. So constantly rebuilding themselves, constantly deconstructing themselves entirely. So it could be someone with very, very strong Pluto in themselves, I feel. And I say that because it's someone that is going very deep down to heal all of the aspects of themselves. And I kind of do remember that I mentioned something that maybe Jeonghan is doing okay for himself, and maybe his twin flame is the one that is going through a lot of things. So when Jeonghan says I'm fine and everything, he is fine, he is okay, but his other half could be the one with all of the problems, and he's gonna feel them anyway. Because I think one of the things that I may have mentioned, or I'm not too sure, was that Jeonghan may be aware of this connection, even if he doesn't really know who it is or what the connection means or the heaviness or importance of it. It's just that he may feel stuff sometimes and know that it's not really him, but he may confuse it and be like, oh, it could be one of the members that is not feeling okay, and that's why I am just worrying for them. But in reality, it could just be the worry and concern of his twin flame or of his other half. You have to keep in mind that in twin flames, there's already a spiritual connection, and because of that, they will probably feel a lot of the things that the other one feels, because again, they're mirroring each other's energy, so they're pretty similar but in different aspects because they're different versions of the same thing. Now, with this Phoenix card, it also tells me that they're currently going through a lot of spiritual awakenings because of that circle. The circle means all of the spiritual cards, which are only 7 of them, and each are correspondent of a chakra that we carry in our body. And this one's the root one. So it's supposed to ground everything, root everything, and find balance in the physical 3D world. So it kind of feels like they're currently Jeonghan's partner or twin flame is an individual that's going very, very, very high up there. And by high up there, I mean spiritually, and trying to deconstruct themselves to rebuild a new form of themselves that they're happier with, and going through a lot of problems and a lot of struggles and a lot of internal healing to be able to ground themselves as the best version of themselves. And now we're going to check out the other cards that we have, which is the fire ant. So usually it feels like it could be a very Jeonghan energy, because we have the mouse, the rabbit, and the fire ant. So this tells me that this is someone that usually needs to be protected, or they feel the need to be protected by individuals. With this mouse, there's a lot of nervous energy, and this rabbit tells me that they are fully alert of their environment. So when they're grounded, they are pretty paranoid and anxious already. So that does bring a lot of instability between their connection if this individual is usually like that. This fire ant tells me that their soul could be shattered or their heart could be in pieces. So that means that they're not complete, not even within themselves. And even if they were to come together right now, I don't feel they're necessarily ready, because this person's healing and transforming. It also feels that it wouldn't work because this person is so broken. And it feels that their true essence is not the best version of themselves, because they may have been hurt a lot before. So their true essence right now is completely damaged, or their true selves is in turmoil and conflict. And that's why there has to be a lot of healing very, very deep down. And there's also this energy of not knowing where to go and not knowing where to look, but having a general idea that they need to heal. So it feels like this is an individual that they know that they have to take action towards healing themselves, but they may not really know what direction to go outside of that. So they may not know how to heal themselves, they may not even know what the issue is at hand, or they may not be aware of a lot of things, but they do know one thing, and that's they need to heal, or they need to change something, or they may feel physically attracted to one thing. So one thing that I'm getting is that this could be an energy that is constantly looking for Jeonghan, and by that I mean basically their connection, or it could be someone that is constantly attracted to him but doesn't really realize the reason as to why they are. But that's assuming that this individual knows who their twin flame is. They could be feeling all of this connection, this desire, and by that it could be like, oh, I desire to be with my other half, or I desire to be with the person that loves me, takes care of me, and all of this, yada yada yada, right? But that doesn't mean that they really know who that other person is. They could just be that they're manifesting an individual by saying what they're desiring and what they want in life. The other thing that I'm kind of getting is that this is someone that likes to work with other people. We have the rabbit, which tells me that they like to be with other people. We have the mouse that tends to be working with other mice. And then we have the fire ant that ants definitely work with each other. And all of this earthy energy, they may have such an attractive energy that a lot of other people kind of want. So Jeonghan's energy could be of an individual that could be very reliable, or someone that a lot of people can be supported by, or someone that has a beautiful healing energy that a lot of people just constantly take advantage of. And because of that, Jeonghan's twin flame could be prey to a lot of other energy, or it could be someone that has a lot of beautiful energy that people just want to take from and take and take and take. And since this person likes to work with other people, they're the type that probably just gives and gives and gives without keeping in mind that they need to give to themselves, and they don't have to give everything. They can just give what they can, not what they have. So let's say that this is the type of person that they could be going hungry, but if they see somebody else going hungry, they will give them their last piece of bread or something, which it could be dumb because it's not survival of the fittest anymore right there, right? It's kind of like they're helping other people survive, and because of that they can't help themselves, and then they're kind of destroying a little bit of the goodness that life has to offer, if that makes sense, right? When you have an individual that is very good, they need to be good to themselves so like that they can continue doing good for others, right? Because they're in a good place when they take care of themselves. So I kind of feel that Jeonghan's counterpart, or Jeonghan's twin flame, is currently going through a whole transformation from the inside out, from the highest form of themselves to their physical self, to like that become less of a prey and more of just their strongest higher self possible. But it's kind of difficult if their true essence is just something that you can easily take advantage of, and just it's not a good energy. I feel not a good energy in the sense that there's a lot of healing that Jeonghan's twin flame has to do, and it could affect him a lot, because that's a lot of instability that Jeonghan will feel that it's not even coming from him, and that's kind of like one of the bad things when you I mean, this is a connection that kind of he was already kind of born with, but that's one of the difficulties about sometimes connecting with some people. If they're not doing okay and you connect to them spiritually, you kind of connect to all the good and the bad that the person carries. And if you're not ready to handle the pain that someone may have, or if you connect and you're not ready to handle the anger or the good and the bad, you may believe it's your own emotions, but it's somebody else. Or you may take them as your own, and that could affect you a lot more if you don't know how to cleanse yourself and heal yourself. But with that, I'm going to take out 3 cards to see, will Jeonghan and his twin flame have come to union in this lifetime? The first card that we got was the Six of Cups once again. Let's see, will Jeonghan and his twin flame come into union? The next card that we have is the Hierophant reverse. Will Jeonghan and his twin flame come into union in this lifetime? Oh, the last card that we have is the Ace of Wands. So the answer is a yes, and we have the Six of Cups once again appearing into our reading. I have a feeling that I feel that Jeonghan and Seungkwan could have very, very similar paths, and if that's the case, it could be the reason as to why they met each other, to kind of understand each other in their situations if they so desire, or unconsciously help each other if that's what they want. So just putting that out there, because we have the Six of Cups again, and I remember that when I was reading those cards, I got a similar feeling to what Seungkwan got, which was the whole thing about working in your self-confidence, and they both also share the Sun card. So I do feel that both of them do carry very similar energies, or are under very similar circumstances, so they could be helping each other unconsciously. So now we have the Six of Cups. So there will be union, so I will interpret these 3 cards as what's the whole purpose or point of Jeonghan coming into union with his twin flame. And we have the Six of Cups, so again, mending old wounds, coming together. Again, it could be to have children if that were to be the case, but I don't feel that's necessarily the whole point. I feel it's healing the past, mending the past, shifting the past into a new future, or looking back into the past and seeing it with different, fresh, new eyes. It also feels like it's the whole point is just to come together, with that Six of Cups, or it could be to meet up with family. I feel that with him, there's a sense of coming back together as a family, and not necessarily that they will physically be together, but more as in like, because it could be just a platonic relationship, so it could be just feeling like a family, but there's no romance between them. We also have the Hermit reverse, so that kind of feels like there's this sense of when they come into union, it will be difficult, but they will have to continue going through their own self-healing, because we have meditate and contemplate with Jeonghan, and then we have the phoenix with Jeonghan's twin flame. So it's like this whole idea of they still will have to work on themselves. There's still healing that they have to do, a lot of internal work that has to be done when they come into union. So that tells me that it might be a little bit difficult for them to come into union if there's a lot of work that they will have to continue when they do meet. So that means that they may bring a lot of tower moments for each other. And the last card that we have is the Ace of Wands. So that kind of feels that there's this sense of, oh, by the way, the Hermit is Virgo energy. So I do have a feeling that they may have to do a lot of finding enlightenment or finding themselves or letting go of their workaholic nature, so like that they can finally be of service, not to others, but to themselves. And now we have the Ace of Wands. I mean, it is this whole idea of taking action towards what they truly wish, or taking actions towards healing. Because we have, oh, let me think of something. We have Cups, Wands. So there's this sense of having balance between taking action and business and work, and then balancing that with themselves, how they feel and what they desire, but from a heart space, because it's Cups. So it feels like there's this sense of wanting to find balance and have new beginnings towards a new life, towards taking new action, or this sense of working with other individuals, because we have 3 Foxes. So it almost feels like it's like to stop being alone and then working with each other to become better and to be more confident. So I think that's the whole point. The whole point of Jeonghan's connection with his partner is to save themselves and to heal themselves and get and to mend all the wounds that they will have gone through past lives or through their own connection currently. So with that, I will go on to our last section. Oh, whoa. I was just shuffling like the cards to distract myself, or I guess to calm myself. I'm not too sure. I was just doing it unconsciously as I was channeling the message, and the card that kind of just flipped around without me even realizing was the Queen of Swords reverse. So I do feel that there's this sense of they may be able to help other people when they help themselves. So if Jeonghan and his twin flame are people that just unconsciously want to give to the world and care for the world and take care of other people and support other people, they both have to help themselves and support themselves before they can even be able to offer and be a lending hand to other individuals. And this Queen of Swords kind of makes me think of the Eight of Swords to reverse, which is they may be assertive of this is what I want in my life. And someone had asked me before, what do you mean by Jeonghan being assertive, right? I always wanted to answer with, I think it's good, but it could be bad as well, right? I think the assertive energy that Jeonghan carries, which is something that I associate with the Queen of Swords, is the energy of someone that is able to communicate clearly what they want and what they don't want. So there's someone in their life that they're like, I don't like their energy, it doesn't go well with me, I want you out of my life. And they make it in such a way that the other person doesn't get confused. It's clear as day that they don't get along, and it's better to just go their separate ways. There's no need to waste each other's time, you just move on. But I do think that the bad thing with that is that Jeonghan he may judge a little bit too early, or he may judge a book by its cover, and that doesn't necessarily make him a bad person. It just means that if he doesn't get a first good impression of someone, it may be very difficult for that person to get out of whatever box or whatever label Jeonghan gave them. And that doesn't have to be with our common society mentality. It could be like someone comes in and they're very disorganized or whatever, and that doesn't bode well with Jeonghan's personality, so he will put that individual as someone he may not want to hang out with. But if the other person tries very hard to show, look, I'm not a bad person, I have all of these other qualities, then Jeonghan will be able to adapt. But I do think it will take a while to get that other individual out of whatever label Jeonghan may have put them from the first go. So I think that's where the assertive energy Jeonghan carries could be good and bad. Good in the sense that he's not wasting his time with people he doesn't like, or he's not wasting his time with people he knows they're not going to get along, they're just going to clash. But it also goes that he may judge other people a little bit too early, in the sense that he may put them under this category that doesn't really define them as a whole, but it's something that Jeonghan doesn't want to deal with, so it may take a little bit longer for that other person to break free from that label Jeonghan has put on them and show, look, I am more than just my messy nature, right? So I do think that first impressions are very important for Jeonghan. So if he encounters someone that is not stable, then he will probably not want to be with that person. Jeonghan doesn't seem like the type of person that will go out of his way to save someone that he doesn't feel can be saved. It feels like he's the type of energy that he will save someone that he feels needs it, or he feels that needs to be protected. So that's why he may be taking care of people like Yoon and DK, who are very pure-hearted, as he has mentioned before. So he will take care of them despite not being maybe everything he is compatible with, if that makes sense. So yes, just kind of putting that out there. I thought it was interesting that that card just kind of randomly popped out. But now I will go to the last message, which is, what does Jeonghan's twin flame, what message do they have for Jeonghan? One card to see what message they may have for him. So we have the horse spirit, freedom is yours. So it actually kind of came reversed. So, well, I flipped it in a way that came reversed, but it wasn't supposed to be. I don't know, it's kind of confusing. I don't know if I should take it reversed or not, but we're gonna have it that way. So they're both mirroring each other, so they need a lot of help, in the sense of they want to work with other people, but they may need to work with themselves first before they can do that, which is the number 3, the meaning of number 3 in tarot. But with 33, if you add it up, you get a 6, which is supposed to be balance, in the sense of give and take, again with tarot. And it's also a number of good fortune, I feel. So I do feel that when they are able to heal themselves and work with themselves, they will be able to help and work with other people, and that will bring them a lot of fortune and happiness. So that's one of the messages. I also feel that Jeonghan's twin flame is saying, with this horse spirit, freedom is yours. It's kind of like you have the strength to carry other people on your back and do anything you want, but just make sure that you keep yourself healthy, that you maintain yourself, that you put yourself first. So when they don't feel trapped within their own responsibilities, within their own jobs, or within their own labels, they will be able to both be free and do what they want. So I do feel that it's kind of like talking about this 8 of Swords, because if the horse spirit is reversed, it's a protective message, meaning that the horse is currently helping Jeonghan find himself and be in that freedom. So I do feel like I think I mentioned that because of these 2 major arcanas, it kind of shows that Jeonghan's twin flame is a very important connection. It's something that he definitely needs, and it will definitely be beneficial for him. But I also feel that with this horse spirit, when it's upright, you get just the oracle message, which is the horse is taking care of you. But when it's reversed, it's like it's helping you find freedom again. So it's kind of like you may feel like things are not going your way. You may feel like you're trapped and nothing is working. But I think the horse is kind of guiding Jeonghan. It could be his spirit animal. It could be. I'm not too sure. I don't know if Jeonghan likes horses or anything like that. But it also feels like it's the energy that is constantly protecting him and taking care of him and telling him and trying to help him out of this 8 of Swords energy, which is when I said that Jeonghan may be blocking himself and not even realizing that he is the one getting in the way of himself. But with that, I will leave it there and go on to the next person. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed Jeonghan's reading. And yeah, let's get on to the last one. Now I will summarize Vernon's reading, which he is the last person. So from what I remember, it was something about finding stability or confidence or being patient for something to happen. It feels like, if I remember correctly, it was a whole thing of getting rid of any previous stress or any energy that could have been holding Vernon back. I think it was also, I think I mentioned that the 10 of Swords reversed was a pretty good card to have reversed. And of course there's a twin flame connection, so we'll talk about that in this video a little bit more in depth. I kind of do remember that the Emperor was this whole idea, again, of stability, but I think it's of Vernon coming to his true power and to his true essence and who he truly is. Because here we have the new moon eclipse, expect powerful change, which is a whole I guess his life purpose in this one. Like, why did he come to life? Like, what is he trying to work on in this one? It also feels like there's this sense of finding some sort of patience, because the Emperor is Aries energy, and then the 7, which is an impulsive sign if it has unhealthy qualities, and then we have the 7 of Pentacles, which is about being patient and have the fruits of your labor grow. So I don't really remember how this kind of connects to his twin flame. I do feel that there's things that he has to heal for sure with the 10 of Swords. So there's some work that Vernon has to do still, and he may be not necessarily struggling with, but it's not going to be easy changes, especially with this expect powerful change. It feels like he's definitely trying to grow into his own energy. But now I'm going to take out one card to see what is the current energy of Vernon's twin flame. What are they currently going through? So we have the Horse. So we have trying to ground themselves, finding confidence in their spiritual abilities, because we have the Moon, which is yellow, confidence, solar plexus, being optimistic, finding creativity, and it's in their 3rd eye position. So it's like opening up to the new world. Now I'm going to take out one more card to see what is the true essence of Vernon's twin flame. I guess, what is their true energy? The card that we got was the Bear. So this tells me that this is an energy of someone that is definitely super, super grounded. So even in their current energy, they're grounded, because we have the symbol for Earth on both of them. And there's this sense of having to find confidence in Vernon's twin flame, because we have yellow on that Moon, and then we have the Sun right here that is also yellow. So, and there's some blue, so communication is important. So this is someone that so with these cards, the one that I just took out from, usually you want to look at the hierarchy in the animal kingdom, and the bear it's high up there. I think they call them apex predators, or they're predators that are at the top of the food chain pretty much. Like there's nothing that will get, like, for example, there's not many. What are some of the, like, let's say an eagle. An eagle is an apex predator because there's not other birds or other animals are going after eagles. There are the ones that are usually preying on other ones. So I'm getting kind of like that alpha energy. Like, in the usual energy of Vernon's twin flame is someone that is very strong. It's someone that actually people fear. But fear because of the power that they carry, the stability that they carry. Not fear because they're trying to be scary. Not fear because they have an intimidating energy. No, it's just an energy that fills the room. It's an energy that, is the energy of someone that shows you what you are the most afraid of. So it's kind of like, this is the energy of someone that unconsciously just cracks you open. And what I mean by that is that, it's someone that brings you back to earth. So I feel this is an individual that, it might be kind of difficult to explain, but it's like if someone enters the room and you see they kind of mirror what you are afraid of, or what you don't want to see about yourself, or what you don't want to admit about yourself. So it's kind of like if I were to walk into the room and I say something that triggers you, but that's not my issue. It's your issue for being triggered, because there's something in there within you that you have not healed, or it is something within your own area that you may not even admit to yourself. So let's say I say to you like something like, oh look, this food is great, and it triggers you for whatever reason. It could be because you realize that you're not enjoying the food, and then if you do an in-depth analysis of your situation, you'll realize that you're not actually happy about some other thing. And that's how they mirror, or that's how they trigger other people. So I feel, because to me bears symbolize what you're afraid of. Because I think I remember once this is a crazy dream, it's gonna be kind of funny, but I think I remember once that I feel weird, right? That I think Scoops came and he was very injured, very injured. He had blood all over him, and I was like, oh my god, what happened to him? And apparently he had fought against a bear, and he came back injured. So I was like, you know what, sis, you help him, you heal him, let me go out there and check it out. And okay, you have to keep in mind, I'm like a short individual, so imagine me going against a bear after Scoops was not able to defeat such a bear. And I remember I was in a place filled with water, and to me water symbolizes emotions, creativity, and spirituality. And that bear and I were okay. I don't think I fought the bear, or I did, I don't know. But if I did, I think the whole point was that I defeated that bear pretty much like nothing. And we were fighting in this, I guess, arena of water. And when I was doing I woke up, I did my research, and I was like, okay, what does the bear mean? And when I was doing my research, it kind of means that you are, if you kill a bear, or when you destroy a bear, it kind of shows or represents or symbolizes that you are overcoming something you're afraid of. And I'm not too sure what that fear was, but if we were fighting in water, then it could be unblocking some emotional thing that I was doing. I don't remember, and I don't know if I wrote it down, so I I don't know what was necessarily going on around the time that it happened. But I'm telling you this story because I feel that the natural energy that Vernon's twin flame has is someone that when they enter into your life, they kind of unconsciously, I feel, unblock a lot of the things you're afraid of. And if that's the case, a lot of people may be able to see the powerful energy that this individual has, but this individual seems to hold back a little bit currently because it triggers a lot of people, I feel. So that's kind of sad in a way, especially if they're alive. I don't think anyone is ready to be triggered. I don't think anyone is ready to spiritually get in tune with what they don't want to see or whatever. I do feel that this is someone that their goal, Vernon's twin flame, like their goal with this bear is to communicate how to love yourself and how to have confidence, because we have water and yellow, and then water we have blue and yellow, and that sun, we have the sun right here, and then we have the moon right here. So it feels like they're supposed to show through their personality how to love yourself, how to take care of yourself, and how to be your best version, or how to be your true self. But currently, now let's talk about currently what energy Vernon's twin flame has. Currently, they're an individual that are trying to get in tune with their emotions to gain confidence. So it feels like they're trying to remember who they truly are. They're trying to get in touch with all of their past selves or all of their past versions, or trying to heal all of their past traumas, in the sense of, if there were many times that people have suppressed who they are because they're like, is it reflecting? No, there's a word for it. Imposing their own fears on them. That's not the word. Yeah, it's projecting. There you go. It's like a lot of people that surround Vernon's twin flame project their own fears on them, and I feel that this person has kind of taken out some steps back, not to the point where they are like a prey, like we got with Jeonghan's energy. With his twin flame, it's more of like an individual that is still very strong, because I'm thinking, horses have strong legs, so this is someone that can stand very strong in their own energy. So they could be very, very stubborn. And by stubborn, I mean this is the energy of an individual that is not easily shaken, but they may have experienced so much that they kind of took some steps down, if that makes sense. But it's a horse, so this tells me that this is an individual that is still very useful to life. And by useful, I feel that they can still function within their current energy. They are still very positive. And this black horse just tells me that there's just a lot of inner work that they're currently doing. It feels like a very good energy, though. It doesn't feel like the energy of someone that is going through very difficult times because they're making it difficult on themselves. It's just like they're just going through the natural healing and the natural process of things. But this horse tells me that this is a strong individual. They can go through thick and thin, and they're not completely bothered by it because they're that grounded, and because there's communication here that tells me that there's an air element. The only thing that, no, never mind, the horse gives me movement, and the bear also tells me action, so there is fire here. But I was gonna say there's water because of that moon right here. There is a connection to the spiritual side. There is a connection to who they are, because the bear is black and the horse is black, so that tells me that there's a sense of going through the shadow side, or going through their unconscious, their subconscious, or they're very good at being in tune with themselves. So, but I feel that sometimes their energy could get muddy, or they could get a little bit frustrated with the their environment and the energy around them, because they're that earthy, or they're that grounded, that they could easily be taken off their grounding if their environment's not okay, if that makes sense. So I do feel that this is someone that is very, very strong, so they can stand their ground as, this is who I am as a person, which I do think Vernon has that. He's very good at figuring out, this is who I am, and nothing can change that, right? But it also feels like Vernon's twin flame is someone that does get easily affected by their own environment. And by easily affected is that I do feel they're sensitive enough to sense the changes and the shifts of their environment. So if this person is very good at unconsciously opening up people's fears, they're going to notice that that other person is not okay, but they can't really do anything about it because they didn't do nothing wrong. The other person just has things to heal for themselves. So I do think that's a little bit difficult for this person. I don't think they know how to work with it yet, but the best thing that they have been doing is being useful in the sense of they try to help other people go through those fears, or talk about them, or experience them in the most soothing way possible. So you have to keep in mind, this is someone that is actually very nice and very friendly, and because of that bear, I'm thinking of like very fluffy, because I'm thinking of stuffed animals, and very useful because it's a horse, right? But it also feels like it is someone that they don't intend to. It just happens that they carry the energy that is going to cause a lot of people to kind of open up to their own fears, to their own struggles, and to their own difficulties. So it's not really their fault. They just have to kind of like work through the effects of the energy they carry anyway. But with that, I'm going to take out 3 cards to see, will there be union in this lifetime between Vernon and his twin flame? Wait. So we have the Ace of Cups. Will there be union between Vernon and his twin flame in this lifetime? We have the 7 of Wands reversed. Will there be union between Vernon and his twin flame? Wait. Will there be union between Vernon and his twin flame? Oh, so the answer is no. Vernon will not have union with his twin flame. Oh wow. Out of all 12 people, we only got 2 no's. So in this lifetime, Vernon will not have what do you call it? Union with his twin flame. If that's the case, I will interpret these cards with this question in mind. What are they currently working on that they can't have a union? So we have the Ace of Cups. I think there's a lot of emotional things that they have to heal. And you kind of see it with Vernon with that 10 of Swords reverse. It was the whole thing of like, he may be trying to get rid of each sword one by one. He may be trying to heal past wounds, past hurt and pain. It also feels like there's this sense of trying to start a new beginning, so maybe cleansing their energy so they can start over. It also feels like they can't come into union because there's still some lingering fears going on with this 7 of Wands. It also feels that there's still some stability within their home, and I don't mean home as in like their family. I mean home as in like whatever brings them comfort within themselves. So feeling more comfortable with who they are. and like that they'll be comfortable in any environment because they know where they stand and where they're going, kind of thing. So I do feel like there's still some work to do in that area or in that arena, which is kind of something that we saw with that emperor, I feel. And the other card that we have is the Knight of Swords reverse. So I do feel that both of them could be a little bit impulsive or could lack communication within themselves, within other people. I feel that another word that I got is that they both get easily distracted, so they could miss each other frequently. I feel that this means that they could be crossing paths in multiple lives, or in this one, or energy wise they kind of cross paths but they don't really connect, so they don't even realize that there's like another person going by, or they may not even realize, oh look, you're like me, type of thing. It also feels that with this Knight of Swords that they like to learn a lot of new things, so maybe they're pretty busy experiencing life and learning things for themselves. There's really no need to come into union, but if they were, I do think it will be a semi-romantic one because of the Ace of Cups. And if it's not semi-romantic, it will be like family coming together. It's like a very strong bond, or what we will consider strong in the 3D. So I do feel that it will be a connection that is supposed to be to help each other or to find comfort within each other, but it doesn't necessarily have to, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be because they need each other, if that makes sense. This is definitely supposed to be like, if they come together and if they come into terms, it's supposed to be because they want to, not because they feel like they need their other half. And I think that they're both pretty independent in their way of thinking and in their way of living life, because this Knight of Swords feels like that's Gemini energy, and to me Gemini energy has always felt like the energy of someone that is kind of non-committal. Not that they can't, but it feels like it's someone that doesn't need to be with somebody else, that like they're pretty good on their own. It also feels like it's the energy of someone that just wants to learn, and relationships is not really something they care about. And I'm not saying like if you're a Gemini you don't care about relationship, because I'm not a Gemini, but I do have Gemini placements that do not make me desire relationships sometimes. The placements that I have in Gemini are for higher knowledge and better communication, so that's why I'm kind of telling you my Gemini placement is not desiring any sort of love, or not romantic love at least. It's more of like wanting to experience more and learn more, and I feel that that's the energy that Vernon and his twin flame carry. It's like they want to learn more, they want to experience more, and they may both be a little bit reckless, and that recklessness could help them come towards each other, but that recklessness could help them just learn the good and the bad that life has to carry. So I do feel that they both kind of go with the flow of their emotions very easily, and by the flow of their emotions doesn't mean that they're sensitive people, or they could be sensitive but not emotional. So they wouldn't be like crying their eyes out often. It's more like they're sensitive enough to change shifts and changes in their environment, but it also feels like that sensitivity helps them just go with what their heart is telling them. So, but I do feel that it may be a little bit difficult if they want to ground themselves. I feel that's something that their connection kind of lacks. They're both focusing on themselves, because it feels like Vernon's energy is of an energy that's very independent, and I feel that if his energy were to split, both versions will continue being independent. They don't really need to be with each other because they're okay on their own. They may want to be with other people and stuff, but that's because they want to. They don't need it, if that makes sense. It's like, it's not a codependent energy. It's not a codependent connection. This is a normal, semi-healthy connection. What I mean by semi-healthy is that they're just going through their own problems. They don't necessarily need the other to survive. They don't need the other to feel complete, because that's what they're doing for themselves, if that makes sense. So yeah, there will not be union between them because they're currently just working through their own fears or whatever blockages they have for themselves. That could be very big baggage for each one of them. I do feel that they both carry an energy that is probably not very compatible with Earth, and by that, well, not with Earth herself, but more with the current energy and the current state Earth is in. So they both may be they may be crushed by the heaviness that Earth carries currently. I mean, many of us are probably feeling the crush of that, but you know what they say. Sometimes you need a lot of pressure to make a diamond, right? I mean, there's a whole thing with carats and diamonds and 17, right? This whole idea that through a lot of hard work and a lot of struggle and a lot of conflict, you will eventually be able to shine bright in your own energy, and you'll be able to be your best version because you learn from your struggles and your experiences. So I feel like that's kind of what they're both doing right now, but they don't really need to come into union to feel fulfilled and to feel okay and to feel all of the good stuff that they could feel on their own. So I do feel that it's not in the plans to make them come together. But with that, I will take out one last card to see what message does Vernon's twin flame have for him. Let's see, what message does Vernon's twin flame have for him? One card. We have the Crow Spirit, co-create with Spirit. So the oracle message is that Vernon will have infinite abundance if he follows his gut feeling, if he follows that internal voice that is kind of helping him create better projects, create better music, take all the messages that he wants to take. So it kind of feels like this Crow Spirit, it kind of feels like the energy of like, if you're going through a difficult time, just trust that the Crow Spirit is going to help you and guide you through all of those unknowns, through all of those difficulties, or through all those moments that things are not going the way that Vernon would have wished for them to go. And it adds up to number 8. So that's where I'm getting like that infinite abundance, infinite fortune, infinite good things. The other thing that I'm kind of getting is that it's supposed to, this Crow Spirit, it kind of feels like if Vernon needs inspiration, or he needs help in figuring out how to communicate something he feels or something he thinks about, then I just got a message. Hold up. I'm saying that as if my phone just went like ring, you got a message, but no, I got a spiritual message. Let me put myself together. It kind of feels like Vernon could just I guess speak out loud like, oh, I don't understand this, I need some help, and next thing you know, he will get dreams, or he will his eyes will kind of wander into like words that he may find in books, in songs, in lyrics, in I guess street signs or movies. Like he will randomly get the answers he's looking for, or maybe he may be feeling a certain way but he doesn't have the words to understand what that feeling is. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just went to say, look, I need help with this. His twin flame will send over a messenger, because I see all birds as messengers and divine protection and pure energy. So I do feel that if Vernon just went to be like, I'm not really understanding this feeling, can you help me understand it better? If he just says that out loud, or if he just thinks about it, it will be good enough. His twin flame will send over some guidance, some aid, or some spiritual divine protection and help, because that Crow Spirit kind of tells me that this is someone that loves to help and is very in tune with all of their difficulties, but they may not talk to other people about those difficulties. And the message that I kind of randomly got that I stopped for was a message from the Knight of Swords. It was there's a chance that there will not be union because they're too busy working with themselves that they haven't really figured out how to communicate with each other. So there is a spiritual connection between them, because that's just how twin flame works. It comes with a package, but it seems like they're both not conscious enough to realize that there's a connection with each other, so they kind of have to build that bridge. And when that bridge is built, then it's up to them if they want to be in union or not, or if it's even necessary, or the connection within each other will be the union. So there's no need necessarily to meet physically, if at all. As long as there's a communication back and forth of any form, shape, or everything, then it should be good enough to fulfill the purpose that it has to fulfill. So that's kind of what I got, that are working on themselves and everything, and when there's a need to communicate between Vernon and his twin flame, then there will be communication. But if there's no need, then there's no point. So yeah, that's the message that I kind of randomly got with that Knight of Swords. But with that, I will leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you liked it, and I hope it was interesting or entertaining and fun to watch. So thank you to anyone that watched this video and anyone that has given love and support to the many other videos that have already come out, and to this one, of course. I have finished Vernon and all of the in-depth readings. Don't look forward to the rest of the 17 members because they gotta know. So there's no in-depth twin flame connection to explore if there is no twin flame connection at all. So yeah, don't be disappointed. Just accept the truth for what it is. And yeah, I hope you're having a good day, night, evening, afternoon, or whatever. And yeah, love and blessings from my part to you, and see you on the next one, whenever that is, or whatever that ends up becoming to be. Yeah, bye.